Greetings, humans. I'm Andy. And I'm George. And this is Couscous. And welcome back to the Windmill full of corpses. Right. So, I already had my coffee and I'm still half asleep, which is not good. Which means we need a certain strong opener for today's recording session to get me awake. Yes. And this is Clouded Retinas. And I think I'm going to tell you what it's about after the song. I'm going to assume it's some eye condition. You're not far off. I mean, no. Wow! Okay, that flipped me. That was just 3 minutes, right? I think so. Who even thinks about how long that was? Look, if you're being bombed, you can be 3 minutes or 3 hours, you're still being bombed, you're still traumatized. This was a bombardment. Yes. Okay, so I think we forgot to say before the song, it had Will on it. Yes, it did. Which is kind of a big thing to mention. Will came before the breakdown and I think they are alternating in the breakdown. Yeah, and I think the line that said, "You can't see what's in front of you," was Will? I think so. And there was also one that said, "You're blinded by the daggers that you're dancing on," and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they'd rather be cutting my feet. Yeah, I don't know how to interpret that one. But the song is about David Simonich's struggle with a condition that he was diagnosed with last year called Stargardt's disease. It's a genetic vision loss, progressive vision loss condition. And apparently it's manageable with treatment, but I don't know if he can revert the damage that's already there. And I think like the vision loss begins on the center of your retinas and then expands, so he can kind of see like on the sides, but not right in front. Wow. It kind of gets cloudy. So clouded retinas is exactly what it is. Ugh. And then if you look at the video, you have these flashes of like these weird worm-like shapes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you look into the sun, then when you look away that you kind of see these blurry shapes that just pop.
Yeah.
Like the effect in the video is exactly like that.
Wow.
And then you have some lyrics that show up and others that don't. Lyrics that show up very, like, it's really visually challenging. You can't follow the video visually.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's all aimed at portraying that.
Wow.
And then the music has that disruptive sense too. I feel bad for bro. He don't deserve it. He a badass. I can see why, if that's the kind of thing you struggle with, you might put out an album called To Rid Myself of Truth, because some truths you want to rid yourself of.
Yeah.
And it's also pretty cool that he's been able to, like, put himself on blast in that way.
Yeah.
And, you know, be able to admit to that. I think in the post in which he announced it, he also said something of, like, apologies if I ever seemed rude for not recognizing someone. So, you know at that point that it's a little bit annoying, to say the least, having to deal with that.
Yeah. I don't recognize people either, and I don't have an eye condition. I'm just dumb. Okay. My facial recognition is garbage.
Yeah, well, you can say that, but don't call yourself dumb.
Well, it depends if you think that facial recognition qualifies as dumbness or not.
Go in the comments and tell him that the only thing dumb about him is that he advertises himself as dumb.
And dumber.
Okay, that I respect. What else I wanted to say? I like about Signs of the Storm, I think for the last 3 songs that we checked out on first listen, I could recognize that something is a chorus when it kicks in, but it still doesn't have a hook in the way choruses do, but it has that recognizable element where you can tell that it's the same section coming in again.
I could not recognize that this time around. I was being too battered.
I did.
The whole thing felt so chaotic for me. It felt way more chaotic than the previous one.
Yeah, the breakdown was definitely the kind that pulls you out of the pace of the song, but it doesn't do that just by slowing down. It does that with pure chaos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what's happening. So, To Rid Myself of Truth coming out August. I'm still really happy about it. I'm curious what else they put out in the meantime. Do we have anything else to say?
I don't think so. I think I'm done.
Are we done here?
No. So if you enjoyed this reaction, we'd greatly appreciate the likes and shares. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells.
Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon. Corpse is out.